Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. You might have idea after seeing the thumbnail, the topic I'm going to talk about, that is business communication. Yes guys, that is business communication, that is especially spoken in the corporate sector. You might be thinking that I'm not gonna do business, I'm gonna do job. So yeah, it's okay. The English that is spoken in the corporate sector, either you are going to do the job or you are going to run a business. So both, in the both place you can use the English that is called business communication. Guys, that is called business communication. A lot of people are there who are preparing for the interview. You might be going for the interview, so the place, the English that will be spoken relevant to the business communication. If you have the command and you know how to talk with the formal and informal, so of course you are going to rock in the interview. The English that is spoken in the interview on in the corporate sector, you are doing job or you are running a business, you are dealing with clients, you are presenting, you are giving the presentation or something else you are doing, that is basically relevant to the business communication. The thing I'm going to talk about, guys, that is most important, because if you know the business communication, so you might be having the idea what is the difference between corporate English and normal English, what we use in the daily life. Guys, that is completely different. You must understand that business communication is completely different from normal English, what we use in daily life. So let me tell you one thing, always remember that if you go through the business communication, the English, your English will be shiny. If you speak corporate English, if you speak business communication. Okay, let me tell you one thing, lot of people are there, whenever they speak English, we'll feel like listening them. Why? Because they are using that kind of English, that kind of words, that kind of vocabs. That's why their English looks attractive. But when we use, when we talk, when we communicate to the people in normal language, that is completely different. It doesn't look like good. Why? Because we are not using advanced vocabulary, we are not using that kind of sentences. That's why our English doesn't look appropriate, doesn't look good. But in the communication, when you talk about, when you behave, the person who is formal with you, so of course you are going to behave in a different way. But the person is informal, who is in front of you, you are going to behave in a different way. So to the both people, you have the different ways you are going to use, we are going to behave with them likely. Okay, let me explain that. If I talk about, you might be thinking that business communication means when I will be running the business, then yes, I will be in lead. No, you are doing a job, so of course you are going to be in need. And business communication, it has 4 steps. It has 4 steps, sorry, 4 to 5 steps I will be telling you. So you must understand, just ध्यान से सुनना है आपको, where you are going to use business communication, that is most important. And always, whatever the situation is, you have to talk, you have to behave, because until we use those sentences, we are not going to be have command in that, in those sentences. So always remember that you have to speak to be fluent in English. If you want to be fluent, so you have to speak English in the eloquent way, that is going to come easily, otherwise not. So always remember that. And to use advanced vocabs, you have to practice every day. And the English, the sentences you are going to use, you have to use alone, doesn't matter someone is there in front of you or not. If you want to be fluent, so you have to go ahead, you have to create the atmosphere, no one is going to come to you. So you want to be fluent, the first step should be come out from your side, and don't wait for someone who will be coming to you to improve yourself, to encourage yourself. You have to show the encourage in the face of adversity, doesn't matter what is the situation, because you are here to speak, you are here to learn. Okay, now I'm telling you one thing, because yeah, if you are learning something, if you want to get something, so you have to educate yourself. You are not allowed to stop yourself, you are not allowed to hinder the way of your success. Okay, so first of all, let me count. The first step of the business communication is that is verbal communication. Yes guys, when we talk about verbal communication, so you might be thinking that what we speak, what we elaborate from our mind. Yeah, exactly, what we elaborate from our mind, that is called verbal communication. Like we are talking the person in front of, ठीक है, जस्ट हम सामने सामने किसी से बात करते हैं. बट द सेकेंड थिंग इज वी टॉक समबडी ऑन द वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग, दैट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड verbal communication. And the second thing is also called when you talk on somebody on phone, that is also called verbal communication. And the second thing is of business communication, non-verbal communication. Yes guys, it is quietly important. You have to understand that non-verbal communication is most important. How you are going to use, for example, you are standing in front of the podium, in front of the people, in front of the audience on the podium, how you are going to behave, how you are going to shake your body. A lot of people are there, they shake their hands, they shake their bodies more than their words. That is not appropriate, that is inappropriate. You have to understand that. Okay, for example, if I am saying something, I'm elaborating something, and I'm moving my words, moving my hands more than my words, so of course that is not good. You are not allowed to do it in front of the audience, and of course it looks quite weird, okay, when you use your hands and body more than your words. For example, just let me have the example. Okay, I'm telling you, just go. For example, there is a person who comes to you and asks the address. So how you are going to tell? You, of course, you will be telling, okay person, just tell me address, this is the address. Suppose that the person comes to you and asks the address, how you are going to tell? Okay, just go straight, ऐसे जाओ भाई, वैसे जाओ, फिर ऐसे घूम जाओ, फिर वो सीधा वहाँ गली आएगी. No, exactly not. You are going using wrong way. The correct way to tell somebody address, to guide somebody, is that you have to just be calm down. You have to be calm down and say, okay, just go straight, and then after 200 meters you have to take your first right, you have to take your first left. After 200 meters or 100 meters, you will be your destination. That is the way you are going to tell, the way how you are going to tell somebody address. Okay, this is the way. So just I mean to say, you have to control, okay, you have to curb your body language while delivering something. That is the non-verbal communication. Your body language, your tone, your gesture, okay, that is called your body language. And your expression, facial expression, that is called your body language. So you have to understand it. And the third one is, that is also called, that comes in the business communication, that is written communication. What is that? Written communication. Yes, written communication guys, इसमें आपके मेल्स आते हैं, ठीक है. You mail in the corporate sector, in the business, oftenly you mail to somebody, that is called written communication. And your proposal, of course, that is also in written. Okay, so you have to work on that. What you are going to write in your email, that will be, that should be, that must be looked good and impressive, okay, with the formal way. So you have to use written communication also, that is most important for email writing and for proposal and for something documentation. And the fourth one is presentation skill. Yes guys, that is most important, presentation skill. If you have, because in the business, either you are doing a job, or you are working somewhere, or you are running a business, that is most important in every field, because you have to present yourself. If you are a student, so being a student, you must know. And sometimes it happens that you have to present something, whatever you have prepared in your class, in front of the teachers. That is most important. So you must have the command, you must know the way how you are going to present your ideas somewhere in front of the people. That is most important to presentation skill. And you have to, in the presentation, what happened, you know, you must have the good way of designing, you must have a good way of structuring. That is most important, that comes into presentation skill. Because if you make your audience understand properly, of course you are going to get whatever you want, otherwise not. So you have to create a good content. On that behalf you are going to get good attraction, good interaction, good admiration, otherwise not. So people are going to understand when you will be able to make them understand properly, otherwise not. Okay, so you have to design good, you have to structure good, and all the things you have to do good in good way, otherwise not. Okay, so that is called presentation skill. The fifth one is interpersonal skills. Yes guys, that is called interpersonal skill. Building relationship. Yes, you are doing business or running business, or either you might be doing a job. So of course in the future you are not going to do a job forever. Of course some way, after few days, after few months, after few years, you will be intending to do a business, to run a business. So in that you have to make the relationship, you have to build the relationship, you have to make the network. Of course after making this you will be able to run your business properly. The person who has lot of networks, who has good marketing skills, he is going to rock. So you have to build the relationship. Okay, for example you are leading a team, you are a team member, and so how you are going to lead them, you must have the idea how you are going to manage your team, otherwise you won't be able to manage the team. For example, you don't have the idea, you don't understand the emotions of your members who is under of yourself, so that is not going to work. You have to behave with them politely, humbleness. Okay, always be humble, and you must have the idea when you have to be strict, when you have to be humble, when you have to be kind, all the things you may. Conflict resolution, of course in the company, the CEO or on the big designation like CEOs and VC, or whenever they go anywhere for the interview, so they are asked, do you think they are asked where have you been studied, आपने कहाँ से पढ़ाई की थी? No, they are not going to be asked this kind of silly questions. Of course they are asked in the interview, let me know as the toughest situation of your life that you faced and how you came out, और आप उससे कैसे बाहर आए. These questions they are going to be asked. So that's why conflict resolution is most important when something happens in your company or to you or your member. So how you are going to solve it, that is called conflict resolution. So all these points I have just presented in front of you, you might have the idea the business communication, what is and why it's so much important, because that's how you are going to prove yourself in the digital world, in the corporate world, in the business world. Okay guys, so for this, to develop your personality, to develop your communication skill, to develop your English, just follow the channel.